Hello everyone, my name is Sanjeev. In this video, I will demo how to configure persistent gateway in Runtime Fabric. I have installed the Runtime Fabric named ABC PG Conf Demo, and I have installed this on AWS EKS cluster, and it is in healthy state. Here is the associated environment, dev, and this is the host name rtf.abc.com. Right now, this runtime fabric does not have a persistent gateway configured. So we will configure the persistent gateway in this runtime fabric. Why we need the persistent gateway in the runtime fabric? We need the persistent gateway so we can enable the mule applications deployed on RTF to store and share data across application replicas and restarts. So if you want to share the data and if you want to store the data across the replicas and across the restarts, then we need to use the persistent gateway. So if you want to use the persistent object store, we need to use the persistent gateway. We need to configure the persistent gateway in the runtime fabric. Then only we can use the persistent object store. How we can use the persistent gateway in a mule application? We need to select the option use persistent object store when we are deploying the application. That time in the configuration, we need to select this use persistent object store. And if we don't have the persistent gateway and if we are selecting this option, we will get the error. So let me show you. Now I will deploy the application on this runtime fabric. Deploy application. I will give the name demo API PG 0511. I will select deployment target, runtime fabric, ABC PG conf demo. And here if I will select the use persistent object store, I should get error. So you can see that I'm getting the error persistent object store is not enabled for this runtime fabric. And that's why I'm getting this error. So to remove this error, I have to configure the persistent gateway to this runtime fabric. So how to configure the persistent gateway? For that, first we need to configure the secret, and it has the database detail. So I have created a database, Postgres database, and this is a SQL Electron. This is a client. I can show you how I can connect to this Postgres database that I created on AWS RDS service. Here is the URI to connect to the Postgres SQL database. So here is the username, password, and this is a host name, and this is the port name, and here is the database. So I'm using object store underscore db database, and this is a host name. And my database type is Postgres SQL. So I will use this database. Let me test this database. So test connection is successful. I can connect. Let's click connect. So I'm able to connect to the Postgres database. This is the name of the database that I'm going to use. I will create the Kubernetes secret, and it has the Postgres SQL database connection string. So here is the connection string. It have the database name, port, and this is the host name, and this is the user and password. So let me create the Kubernetes secret. I have created the Kubernetes secret now. Now to create the persistent gateway, I have to use the custom resource YAML file to create the persistent gateway. So I already have the custom resource YAML file to create the persistent gateway. Let me show you. I have stored inside this directory. Let me open this. So this is the kind persistent gateway. Namespace RTF. This is a driver PostgreSQL connection pool 20, and this is the name of the secret I'm providing, secret reference. So this is the secret that I just created. So I'm referencing in this custom resource file, and here are the resource allocated to this persistent gateway. Replica size 2, that means it will create 2 pods. So let me apply this. So once I will apply this custom resource file using this command, what it will do, it will create 2 tables inside this object underscore db database. Right now I do not have those tables. Those tables come under public schema. So right now I don't have any public schema, and I don't have those 2 tables. I will apply this custom resource to create the persistent gateway. Once a persistent gateway gets created, it will show the health status of the persistent gateway as well. So we can see that the persistent gateway has been configured and it's in healthy state. And here also we didn't get any error. Let me check the tables in the database. So let me close this connection and connect again. And we can see that we have public schema, and here we have 2 tables. Public.items, we have item tables, nothing is there inside. And we have a store table, and there is no row inside it right now. Now we can use this persistent gateway to use inside the application for the persistent object store. So let me go to the applications. Now I will deploy application. I will give the name demo API 5.11 RTF. Deployment destination, I will choose the runtime fabric and the runtime fabric that we just created. Choose the file, upload file. So I'm going to upload the demo API. If I will choose the use persistent object store, right now it's not showing any error because we have persistent gateway configured to the RTF. But if we don't have a persistent gateway configured to the RTF, then it will show the error when we choose this option. So right now everything is fine. For the ingress, we are using rtf.abc.com. We can go ahead and deploy the application. While application is deploying, let me show my application. What it does, it just take the HTTP request and have logger, and I'm storing a value in a store, object store. Key 1 is the key and value 1 is the value. And I'm using the object store named demo object store. TTL is 24 hours. So that's what I'm using here. So when I will invoke this application, it should store the key 1 and value 1 to this object store. And we should be able to see an entry here. One for store, that will go for object store, and one for the key value inside the items table. So application has been deployed. Let me invoke this application. So for that, I will get the namespace detail. So this will give the namespace of the application that has been deployed. So this is the namespace. I will use this namespace to get the pod detail. So this will give the pod of the application. So we got the pod of the application. Now I will run the kubectl execute command. So for that, I will copy the namespace. So now I will copy the pod name. So here is the pod name. So I will run the kubectl execute command, namespace that we have namespace of the application, and this is the pod of the application where the application is running. And I will run the bash script, that is a curl command. So I will invoke the application using localhost 8081 and my path is demo. You can see that here. So this is the demo path. So let me invoke the application now. So once application get invoked, if everything is good, then we should see the rows inside these tables. Let me run the command. We got the response message successful, and that's what we have here in the response. And let's check the rows inside store and the items. So let me execute this command. So we got the row. Let me copy it, the value. This is the name of the object store, ID, event ID, and this is a TTL value. Now let me check the items table. So here also we can see that we have key, and here is the binary value. Let me copy this row, items row. So this is a partition that name of the object store that we created. Value type is binary, and this is the value. And here is the last updated date time, fixed TTL true, and this is the TTL that we provided for the object store in application right here, 24 hour. Our application is successfully running and it's using a persistent object store. So we are able to store the value, and this is a runtime fabric, and here is a persistent gateway. This is all in this video. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.